So I'm gonna do some reviews for Phineas and Ferb. I was gonna review the whole series. There's supposed to be a new Disney Plus movie coming out this year. I don't know if that's still happening. I think it's called Candace Against the Universe. So I gotta rewatch that series on Disney Plus again, and I gotta watch the movie, and I gotta watch Take Two, which would probably be a review here. But I thought I'd just review the Marvel and Star Wars crossovers as their own things because excuse me. I guess he really loves Phineas and Ferb too, because he was clawing at my door like, "Hello, let me in. Hello, let me in." Okay, thank you, Loki. Thanks for visiting. Now go on. Sorry about that. I'm not cutting that out. I'm just not cutting that out. And you can see behind me too. So I feel like they can be things that I can review by themselves. I don't know if you know this about me. I don't think I've mentioned it on any channels at all. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Never mentioned it before. I know, total news. I mean, seriously, I'm like, yeah, I just didn't mention that much because I'm really not that big of a Star Wars fan. I'm not staring at a shelf right next to me full of Star Wars pops and dolls and Funko Pops and banks behind me and a wall of action figures and a plushie and another plushie and, a Chewbacca figure over here and then, Baby Yoda figure over there. I know you can't see it, but, I got some figures, droids over there, Star Wars pillow on my bed. There's like some Star Wars stuff over there. Point is, I may be a fan. I think I have this too, this collector's edition of Force Awakens, which I believe is out of print and super expensive now. So I may be a fan. I may be a fan. But I did watch those Family Guy crossover or kind of Star Wars parodies with a friend. He really loves Family Guy. And I don't really watch the show, so I can't really comment on it, but I can comment on those specials at least. They're fun. They do make jokes specific to Star Wars, but they're really more catered towards Family Guy fans. And as someone who doesn't really watch the show, because I do not like Seth MacFarlane as a person or his art that he creates that much. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. But this is a lot better because, first of all, the opening where they do the title crawl and they have Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh and Darkwing Duck and so many other cartoon characters, Pete, from Mickey, all kinds of Mickey Mouse projects and things. But, he is an excellent voice actor. Love the man. He's also Don Carnage, if that's how you say it, in Tailspin. Excellent voice actor. He's amazingly talented, man. His gift at voicing characters is fantastic. But having that goofy of a voice, he narrates it and talk about what the story is going to be about and tells everyone it's not canon. Perfectly sets up the tone of this. This is a non-canon adventure of Star Wars. And it just... Now, this is in the last season of Phineas and Ferb, so they never got to do Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi parodies. They just did A New Hope. So it's basically events A New Hope, except our characters are the reasons most of the stuff even happens. Like, R2-D2 loses the Death Star plans at one point, and now Perry has to get it back. So it's just these, and then so they make so many jokes specifically about Star Wars that only makes sense if you're a Star Wars fan and you're part of that community. Some obscure ones, some not obscure ones. It is hilarious. As a Star Wars fan, I laughed out loud a lot during this. Like, I was laughing pretty hard. Phineas and Ferb is a very witty show, and it already makes me laugh a lot already, but just as a Star Wars fan, it made me double laugh. And, there are a lot of jokes that I had to sit and think about for a minute. I'm like, and I laughed really hard. It's really smart. It's a really smart show, and just having these Star Wars parodies. Clearly, creators had a love for the original Star Wars movies and some of the prequel stuff, because they even bring in some of the prequel stuff and make fun of it, even though it's set during A New Hope. But they do that, and I think it's really fun and entertaining if you're a Star Wars fan. And I think if you're not a Star Wars fan and you like Phineas and Ferb, it may do something for you, but I feel like this is one of those crossovers where it's clearly leaning towards more Star Wars fans and not fans of the other show. But I will say this, you should be acquainted with Phineas and Ferb. This should not be your jump-in point if you want to get into the series, if it sounds interesting, because, hey, I like Star Wars, maybe I'll like this. Don't do that. You're not going to like it that much. You may enjoy it, but you'll probably enjoy it more if you're acquainted with the format of the show and these characters, so you can get some of the Phineas and Ferb references within the Star Wars references too, because there are a lot of poking fun at each show, and I think it's a really smart crossover. Excuse me.